Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here again. Today, going to show you guys how to play the 80s classic In a Big Country by Stuart Adamson and Scottish band, you guessed it, Big Country. I covered this one recently here on my channel. You can find it linked down below in the description box. And I had a couple of requests for a tutorial, and as I don't think there are any on YouTube for this one, I figured that I'd give it a go. First up, however, I need to mention that there are numerous layered guitars going on here within this track. So I'm going to kind of stick to just the main guitar lines playing throughout that one hears most prominently. That way you can kind of get through this one on just one guitar, as I did in my cover. Good? Then let's get started with In a Big Country by Stuart Adamson and Big Country. Let's close in. Good then, In a Big Country from Scottish band Big Country from their 1983 album The Crossing. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial, and before we dig into the nuts and bolts of this one, all the rhythm parts and intros and whatnot, there are two main melody lines that run throughout this track any number of times. So we're going to learn those first, so we have them under our belt when we come across them as we're going through this track. This is the first one. So we're starting with a slide into 9 of the G, then we're going to go down to 9 of the B, back to 9 of the G, back down to 9 of the B. Then we're going to drop onto the 12, back off to the 9, back onto the 12. And then you're going to pick that 12 again, slide it into 14, and pick it twice. And then we're going to go back off to 12, back onto 14, slide it into 17. And then we're going to go 14, 17, 14, and then finish on the 16 of the high E. So that is that melody line. And the other one, the more bagpipey one with the octave pedal on it to give it that kind of bagpipey effect, goes like this. This one's a little bit trickier to play. You've got this double pinky pull-off to deal with. So we're starting 9 of the B this time. We're going to go up to 9 of the G, back to 9 of the B, and then on to the 12. And then back off to the 9 of the G. And then we're going to go back to the 9 of the B, and then we're going to do 2 pull-offs from 10 to 9. And then you're going to grab the 11 of the G and finish on the 9 of the D. Right? That's the first half. Second half. So we're going to slide into 11 of the G, back it off to 9. Back onto 11, slide it into 13. And then you're going to go back off to 9, back onto 11. And when you go back onto that 11, you're going to pick it twice, and then you're going to do 2 pull-offs with your pinky from 13 to 11. The second time, you're going to pull that 11 off to 9. Grab the 11 of the D, and then finish on the 9 of the G. Kind of like that, right? So that is that melody line. Right? So remember those, because we're coming back to them. So the opening riff, it's also the bridge. We're going to be coming back to this midway through the song. All power chords, and you're sliding these. You are not lifting your fingers between them. So we're going to start with an E power chord at the 12th fret position. We're going to move it off to A. Then we're going to move it up to D flat at the 9th fret position, and then off to F sharp. All downstrokes, we're going to strike these like 7 or 8 times. E, A, D flat, F sharp. Repeat. Back to D flat. Now we're going to go back to A. Then we're going to go back to D flat. Then F sharp. just going to hit that F sharp 4 or 5 times and let it ring. And then the drums kick in here, and the first verse proper, or not the first verse, the intro proper, or the song proper gets underway with this lick. Another melody line that we're only going to play at this point in the song. We're never going to come back to this. So all E major, all of these melody lines and whatnot, there's no solo in this, but all these melody lines and little fill lines and whatnot, they're all out of the E major scale because this song is in E major. So we're going to be repeating that 3 times. So we're going into the 7th fret of the A. We're going to do a quick little down, up, down, palm muted. Then we're going to ride down the E major here on the 9s of the D and the G. Then you're going to grab the 11 of the D off to 7 of the D. And you're going to repeat that 3 times. And after you repeat it 3 times, you're going to grab a D power chord, slide it into E, drop back to D, slide it into E again, and then just going to hang on this E power chord. Kind of like that for 1 bar, right? And then you're back into this again. For three repeats, and then back into the power chords, right? However, another guitar halfway through that has joined with a harmony guitar playing this. So what this guitar is doing is sliding from 7 into 9 of the D and then riding down the 9s. Grabbing the 12 of the B, back off to 9, and then rolling back up to the 9 of the G. Repeating 3 times. And then dropping into the E power chord. Right? And then we're into the first verse. So that is the intro. Right, and then we're into the first verse. Now this is what's going on for the first verse. A little bit buried in the mix, not as prominent, the guitars during the verses. It's playing this. Right, so 9th fret of the D string. We're picking these, I don't know, 7 or 8 times. Sorry, 6 times. So you're going to pick that 9 of the D 6 times, then you're going to grab the 11 of the A off to 7. Then you're going to move it down to the G and the D string, do the exact same thing. Back to the A and the D. Back down to the D and the G, but it changes the 4th time. He kind of plays along with the melody, the 4th go through of this little lick, right? So 4 times. So he's going to go from that 9 of the G up to the 11 of the D, off to the 7 of the D, up to the 9 of the A. And then he's going to go 9, 11 of the D, 9, 11 of the A. Right, and at this point, another one of those melody lines kicks in. Right in the middle of the first verse, as to break up the first half of the first verse and the second half, right? So that is that. Second half, first verse. Kind of playing the exact same thing, right? But this is leading into the chorus now. So when we get up to this 9th fret of the A from this, right here, You're going to hang on that, and then you're going to hammer on to 11 and drop into the chorus. And you're going to play that little lick 3 times during the chorus. All on the 9s and 11s of the A and the D. So you're just hammering on from 9 to 11, picking it off to 9, rolling up to the 9 of the A, right? So you repeat that 3 times. We're going to start it one final time, but we're going to lead back into one of the melody lines, but we need to kind of go down the scale to get into it. So kind of like this. Now we're into it, right? So. So the final time, you're going to hammer on that 9 to 11, then you're going to ride down the 9s of the D and the G, then you're going to slide into 11 of the D, and then ride down the 9s of the G and the B, and then you're going to do that again, then you're going to go back up to the 9, and then you're into the melody line, right? It's a little bit complex here. I hope this is clear. Right, one more time. And then we're back into these chords again for 4 repeats, right? While the other guitar is doing this. And you're repeating that 4 times. We're just holding a little bar here on the 9s of the G and the B. Starting on the 12 of the B, we're going to release that off to the 9, and then ride up to the 9 of the G. And then play that little lick, right? So you're kind of repeating the same thing twice. And then we're going to move up in onto the D and the G and play this. All on the 9s and 11s. Finishing on the 11 of the D, right? And you repeat that 4 times. And then the final time to get back into the these power chords again, coming out of that, right? Because that's all kind of quiet and palm muted. We're going to go slide into the little more aggressively, slide into the 9 of the the 11 of the D, down to the 9, back to the 11, and then finish on the 9 of the B, right? And then we're back into those E power chords for another 4 bars. And then we're into the bagpipey melody line. Right, we've already learned that. And then we're into the second verse. Chorus. Melody line. And I think at this point there's kind of a break in the track. Everything stops, right? It's just no, it's not. Wrong part of the song. We go back into the chords again. Yes. For 4 repeats. And after you repeat it 4 times, you're in this F sharp, right? And then we drop into those E power chords for another 4 bars. Right? And then we're back into the bagpipey melody line. And then we're into the third verse. Chorus. And at this point, the band kicks out, and it's just a kick drum and Stuart singing the chorus over basically just drums, right, for a couple of bars. And then the guitarists come back in with this. And then we're into another chorus. And then we're into the bagpipe melody line. And then the final time, near the end of the song, he repeats this 3 times. Right, and then starts again. And then just repeats that a few more times until the end. And that is how you play In a Big Country by Big Country. Certainly hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and if you did, please hit that like button, maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, and if it's in Scotland, hey, this one's for you, yeah? Take care of yourselves. Cheers.